Hello there, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Super Cast Brothers. I'm Zantok, otherwise known as Lister, and we've got here Jonno, otherwise known as my eternal tormentor, and one of our more recurring guests, Flamezone, otherwise known as Eric. Now, if you're a video watcher, you may have noticed that the logo is still on the screen and not our cameras or our other background stuff going on. That's because I just want to let you all know at the start before we get too deep into this episode. My mic, we had an oopsie. My mic was not being captured for the first 10 or so minutes of the episode. So you're going to hear just Jonno and Flamezone for a little bit. There are part of the conversation you won't hear anything I'm saying at all. I apologize. There's not really anything I can do about it now, although just give you this heads up. So, with that, I'm just gonna give you to John and Flimson here. They're gonna be talking about how Eric is one of our more recurring guests, and then eventually you'll hear me start talking. I think starting or in the middle of our first rate their chances character. So with that, I'm just gonna shut up.
Back to reclaim that
Again.
back to reclaim his title as the guest who's appeared the most on the show.
Oh, I'm gonna need those stats. I gotta know. My agent booked me for this one. I gotta know if it's worth my time anymore. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Just kidding. Thanks for having me again. It's always a pleasure. Okay. You know, I try to dial it back, and now I see where things stand. Oh. Kelly Jelly specials come to mind, like with some of his things, like what is going on? He's some deep cuts. Oh. Mm.
We give him
You guys
some
have a pretty
bones.
robust cast already, though. Yeah. It's like, Goomba?
Do some, yeah.
What the? Was it like the park bench?
Yeah, it's the
Oh, wow. Damn it.
Oh, you haven't seen the full breadth of what can be done on that site yet after you said that. Thanks for the reminder. This year. Yeah. Was it June? I thought it was September. Oh, well, someone had to have woken me up after September ended.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's what we do. Hey, it's a good thing. I mean, the time I spend doing this shit for free, you know.
You know what I noticed as a oh go ahead.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Visit smashopia.fandom.com and check out everything on the wiki. I would
Yeah.
say 65 to 70% of everything is from Zantok at this point because I have fallen off over the last year and a half. But it's a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah. He's got Yugi Moto in there, the heart of the cards,
Ooh.
etc. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, he's obliterated the competition like
There's
Exodia.
as a side note, as a viewer of this podcast, I noticed that Jonno actually has like a catchphrase that maybe we don't realize.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, well, I don't know if it's a catchphrase. Like it's like a mannerism. But I notice it all the time now. He goes, like a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like a recurring. I always say it along with him in the cars, like when he does.
Lister has a similar mannerism. Hmm. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna
Hmm.
be hyper vigilant about that.
Hmm.
Yes.
Well, Lister has a catchphrase, a mannerism that he says quite often too. Don't know if I should spoil it now. No, it's simpler than that. It's bitch.
That's true.
It's like every 2 minutes he's like, and then I was
Bitch,
saying
please.
bitch. Yeah, just out of the way. Occasionally he'll say, well, you have a lot of catchphrases. Fuck off is another one of them. So is get the fuck out. And also like yeah, and you do say and fuck is quite the vernacular. Like you can say it in many different ways. Like if you're like Italian, like a fucko the ducko, you know, like it goes on. So
Mm.
yeah, yeah, like right now, kind of.
Yeah, we could.
The oh, I forgot we
I,
started recording.
oh, that's right. That's
What
right. Okay,
was
I
that,
know.
Eric?
I know someone who could keep John in line. He's a very decorated soldier who protects his colony there. Our
Oh my
dearly
god!
beloved
Oh my
soldier Mwamba.
god!
Mwamba's forever.
Oh my word!
Mwamba. Mm-mm. I want a Mwamba
Oh
character
my
this
gosh!
episode. I want to make
Oh my
Mwamba.
god!
What if my only character on the wiki is Mwamba?
Oh my!
Oh dear.
Oh
It's a good
man!
start.
Oh god! Oh my gosh! Wow! Wow! Oh boy. That was the highlight right there. I I dropped that in there for you, Eric. In the
I
chat.
had tears in my eyes from laughing.
I'm just showing him the Issus trophy Mamba. That's all that is. Oh, yeah, the spirit battle Mamba. That's all that is. Well, so I spoiled the future. Oh no, I just meant there's Issus trophy in the future. Anyway.
Rate their chances. Oh,
Good. Scooby Doo.
how is that my personal favorite? No. I thought it was gonna be like Conquer, like Banjo Kazooie, or yeah, it's like rare, a little bit on the rare side. Okay,
Yeah. Frankie's sworn a few times in his day.
it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I like Conquer too.
The Great Mighty Pooh on the Game Boy. Was it?
Well, actually, it's technically not. It was on like the Game Boy, like a Conquer flying game. He's a pilot.
Pocket Tales is what I was thinking of. It was
Yeah,
isometric.
Pocket Tales. Yeah, it did come first.
Oh,
I'm
it
pretty
did.
sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because like he kind of took on like this edgy, referencey persona afterwards. Like this, I think, just to differentiate from like all like the happy-go-lucky platformers of that time. But
Mm-hmm.
I think
More
it paid
more
off.
more dev companies should do that. Like bring
Yeah.
back Croc, but with like the Duke Nukem kind of theme.
Yep.
Yeah.
Today you learn Rainbow. Do 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 do.
Great game.
It
Very difficult, actually. When I was
actually
trying
is
to play
hard,
it.
the story mode. Like, Jesus, like some of like the dinosaur races are like, oh my god.
Yeah, that's why I chose Pigma over Whizpig in that one Smash or Dash. It's pure hatred. Yeah. Anyway.
But Cranky Kong, I think Cranky
Yeah.
Kong has a good shot of all the Kongs. In context, is it just like in general, like it's not adding on to the ultimate roster for like this series? It just kind of, so we don't need, yeah. In general. hmm Will it be in the next game?
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. We could talk about Tails a third time. No. No.
I think
Yeah.
Cranky and Dixie would potentially be like equivalent fourth Donkey Kong picks. Like it's tough because like they're in like the DK Tropical Freeze, right? They're both playable party
Yeah.
members, and I think that they're also like fairly iconic throughout multiple games. So I think that his chances would probably mirror Dixie Kong's for me in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna have yeah, I think in the recently revealed, like when they were talking about Donkey Kong Jungle King, that's coming out in the near future. Yeah. Hey, what's up?
My mic wasn't being captured. Hey guys!
Are you serious?
So the last 14 minutes, I was talking, but it wasn't being captured. That was weird. Welcome to Super Cast Brothers with a weird intro here that's in the middle of Rate Their Chances. That occurred.
I think at this point we're just gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
Because, there was a joke about Mwamba in the original cut. I want the people to know this.
No, they heard your side.
Flamezone.
They heard the two of you. They just didn't hear me.
Okay. Is that how we're doing? Okay. Well, welcome. Hello, Zantok.
Hi guys.
Wow.
You were responding to my inaudible ghost. Yeah, but it turns out ghosts can't get picked up by the recording. But I'm alive again, so we're good.
Thank that flame clock in the Midwest. Good time.
Jesus, how the hell that happened again?
But okay, yeah. To finish that thought,
actually,
we had Cranky revealed, in Jungle King, but not Dixie yet.
What is Jungle King?
The new 3D Donkey Kong.
Jungle King's not a real thing.
Yeah, it's. They revealed it like 2 weeks ago.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did. Okay, anyway. What are your thoughts on Cranky, Zantok?
So, I like Cranky Kong. I think he'd be fun. I think he'd be a cool new character, and I definitely think he can work in Smash. Especially partly with his history as being, classic Kong.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest hurdle that Cranky Kong has, Flamezone mentioned it, it's Dixie Kong's existence. Because I think there is a chance that Cranky could get in before Dixie, but boy, do I think it's minimal. It's Dixie first. Now, could the two of them both be added in the same game? Sure.
Yeah.
But you need to have K. Rool and Diddy first, too.
Well, and we have them. We have them.
In the next game, though, too.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I think you could go Dixie before K. Rool. I think that would be okay. But then I think you have to have K. Rool before Cranky. Like, not every... Like, some franchises, you can be a little more ambiguous with, like, what characters get pulled in. But some franchises, it feels like, okay, no, we need these characters before we get to these other people. Like, with Mario, you need Mario and Bowser first. I say that, and I know Luigi in Smash 4, but that was a whole clone situation. But it was like, then, okay, that's like, we got the hero and the rival, Luigi, Peach. And after that, it's like, okay, now we can kind of do whatever.
Yeah, it's that simple for some franchises. It's like Kid Icarus as well. Like, you get Pit and then Palutena. Anyway. all that being said, yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, Dixie is one of the last like major legacy characters standing. Cranky has become popular and he's become playable in recent years, but back in the day, Donkey Kong Country on the Super Nintendo, he was that, and Dixie was playable in 2 of the games. Donkey Kong was only playable in 1 of the original 3 Donkey Kong countries, which is
that is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Diddy Kong
really
is
kind of when you think about it.
Like, it would have been actually nice if Diddy was DK, because then it would have been like all of them got 2 spots. Hey.
Wait,
if he was like imagine an alternate timeline where like Donkey Kong Country, the trilogy, instead of Kiddy Kong, like Donkey Kong and Dixie Kong were partnered up.
Oh.
And then they would have all had 2 games.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Kiddy Kong was that was and he is never heard of ever again.
They drowned him. Held his head under the water for a bit.
Wow. I mean, he is.
Yeah.
He does have he's mentioned in Donkey Konga 2.
In a lyric or what?
In one of Dixie's
Diddy
notes
Kong's
that she writes down. I don't know. But apparently, due to a translation oversight, he's actually called Dinky, as for his which is his Japanese name. His Japanese name is Dinky Kong. That's even worse.
If they brought him back as Dinky Kong, I would take him playable now in Smash.
Also, he is in the Mario movie, so They did remember him for that.
He is.
I think they made a choice not to call him Dinky Kong over here. I'm gonna be honest. I
Yeah,
don't know about
good
oversight.
choice. Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
get you and your Dinky Kong out of here.
The oversight was them accidentally referring to him as Dinky in Donkey Konga 2. That's the
Oh,
oversight.
sure. Oh, gotcha.
Nice.
You can't just put that out there.
Hey man.
Okay, Cranky has a good shot, but it's not as good as Dixie's. I agree with that general train of thought.
Yeah, I think they both have unique playstyles. So I'd love to have either or, but I will be very surprised if we get Cranky Kong and not Dixie in the next game.
Yeah. I agree. I wouldn't be mad about it. Like I like Cranky Kong a lot, actually, but you know.
Sure.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I want to say it's less than half for me. Like, just thinking about it, like I don't think they would add two Donkey. I feel like they could add Dixie and Cranky, but I don't think they would. So I think his chances are less than half. But I don't know how low to go. But
I'm going low.
I would.
Okay.
I would say like 15.
Oh wow, yeah.
I was gonna say 5.
Oh wow, I don't know if I go that low.
That's how confident I am that Dixie Kong comes first.
I
those
just
parameters.
Like if it wasn't for Dixie, I would like if Dixie was already in, I'll give Cranky a much higher chance. I don't think I'd go like super high because it's like, okay, do we need a fifth Donkey Kong character at this point? Yeah, that'd be the question back at that point. But that'd be like my only negative on Cranky. But with Dixie not in, yeah, I'm just like, I can't give him a high score when Dixie Kong's not here.
Okay, so Eric, what's your percentage for Cranky?
I'll go probably a little bit higher, like just the off chance wacky pick, unexpected Nintendo stuff. I'll give him 20.
Okay.
Sweet.
So that will make him average out then to 13.3%. There you go. That occurred.
Yeah.
I think Dixie maybe would have been like upwards of 50%.
Well, now
definitely
I need to
much
look
higher.
up and see what we gave her previously. Dixie, we did her in season 3, and she averaged out to. Oh, we had a guest that episode. I wonder if it was you.
Oh, really?
I don't know because I don't track that. I really should go back and find that information. But overall, she is sitting at a 75% chance according to our records.
Yeah,
which I think is I think that's pretty good.
Yep.
All right. Well, next on our list, I actually don't know how knowledgeable you are in this franchise, but they do already have a character in Smash. No, not a Kong, but he is a king. And I mean King from Tekken.
Oh, interesting.
Specifically,
King, Tiger.
Specifically King 2, because I think it is that like King has been like 2 different characters in Tekken. It was one guy in Tekken 1 and 2, and then in Tekken 3 was or like that character died, but then a new character like took on the mantle of King and has been King ever since. Armor King had the same deal. I don't know if they also changed in the same game or not. But King is a lucha wrestler for the Tekken franchise, and from my understanding, is one of the more popular characters. Using his lucha and wrestling styles. He wears a Jaguar mask, and it's fucking cool. I don't know what to tell you beyond that. Obviously, the fact that we have
the bear. Kuma
would be funny. Not gonna lie, Kuma would be extremely funny. But I have King on here from this pick because like I don't know Tekken super well, so it's hard to say like who would be like the next likely character after Kazuya, especially when we all thought it was gonna be Heihachi. But with Kazuya being added, like some people might think like, oh, still do Heihachi or do Jin. Well, it's like Kazuya is a mixture of what Heihachi and Jin would do. So it's like, all right, both of them are kind of not necessarily invalidated, but they're not necessary since we have Kazuya.
I wouldn't underestimate Nintendo's ability to retread ground for Smash, though. To be honest, but...
And to be fair, Sakurai's not the one that made the picks for the DLC. Nintendo dictated them for the most part. So that's a fair point. But like I think Elisa Paskanovic should be the funniest pick. It would be pretty damn unique compared to literally everything else. But like a lot of people thought when you get Heihachi, you can be a grappler fighter. Well, we didn't get Heihachi. Kazuya's not a grappler. King could be. He's all on throws.
True.
Just like Incineroar.
And who wasn't a grappler? Well, I guess he has one move.
Yeah, it kind of is. He's like a wrestler.
Ah, shit.
I have like a. It's. I don't have a great read on Tekken either. Like, there's only so many fighting games you can be highly invested in. Tekken isn't one of them for me, but also isn't like I'm pretty sure, I don't know if his name is DJ or something, but the guy who does like the break dancing, he's pretty popular too.
That's Street Fighter.
No. There's definitely
DJ?
like a. No, I'm pretty sure.
You mean Harang?
DJ is a Street Fighter character.
No, there's definitely a Tekken character that does like spins around like crazy. I'm pretty sure. Yoshimitsu.
Okay, Yoshimitsu is a completely different character.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to find him. Where is he? Leroy, maybe?
Leroy?
Okay, who's the guy who does a breakdancing in Tekken? Eddie. There we go, Eddie. Is he not popular? I'm pretty sure he's in so many games.
Oh, Eddie Gordo. He's a capoeira fighter.
Nice.
I mean, I like his
He's a
look.
what?
Capoeira's Brazilian martial arts. Like kick heavy.
Mhm.
Yep.
He's a DLC for
Not to be
He's
confused
still
with
in there.
capybara. Very different.
Capybara.
Yeah, like I don't know too much on the different Tekken characters. I know some things. I've only played Tag Tournament 2 and Tekken 7. And even then it was not a whole lot. But I picked King for this episode, so
Yeah, and King is a classic character. Like I think he's definitely up there.
Like King the First was in the first two games, but then King the Second has been in every other Tekken game since then. He's part of the perfect attendance crew.
Here's one stat. I guess amongst tournament Tekken players, King is the third most popular character behind Jin and Law. So there's that. Anyway,
Law.
And that's Law Marshall, who I believe. Right?
Oh my God.
Wait, no, I don't see
Martial Law.
Martial Law. I was right. He's the Bruce Lee of the game.
mm-hmm.
Both Tekken
Bruce
and
Lee
Street Fighter
knockoff.
have their own Bruce Lee knockoffs.
Yep.
Okay, well, King's pretty valid then. Yep.
Yeah, I think it seems like people play Eddie a lot in Tekken 8 because he's easier to use or something. Like the tournament thread that I'm in on Reddit right now is like bitching about him.
But, he's the one, when I played Tekken 3, he's the one that like was most memorable to me, like because he was like so flexible like with his attacks and stuff. But
Yeah,
I thought he was potentially in all of them, but there's 8, so who knows, right?
There's 8 and also at least 2 spin-offs with the tag tournament games.
Mm.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against him being in. But as for King, I also wouldn't be against him being in. I think the idea of a second Tekken character is what we're dealing with here. Like, kind of before even the identity of said character, it's kind of like, okay, are we getting a second one or are we not? You know, and we got a second Street Fighter character, although it wasn't Echo. You know, I could see maybe getting an Echo of Kazuya with Jin or whatever, you know, if that's but as for like a full-fledged different character like King, it would be cool. I just don't know where I'd place that because there are so many, and this is the issue with third parties in general. There are so many other characters from Namco Bandai that we could be taking from. What are the chances that we go back to the same pool again? Like even for another fighting game to draw from, you can draw from Soul Calibur before you go back to Tekken.
Yeah.
And then there's also Tails, I think is the other big one.
It's like what I part of my whole thing is like I wrote this whole big thing about how I don't want more than one character from each third party franchise because
Mhm.
there's so many franchises to go through. Why double dip into that well? We have
Mhm.
3 times now, with Kin being an echo of Ryu, Richter and Seven being at the same time, and then
And
Sephiroth,
Sephiroth.
which
Yeah.
I feel like Sephiroth is an like I'm not saying that there is a rule against third party characters being from the same franchise or that they have to be echoes with Richter and Kin. I don't know. I'm not saying that that's a rule, but I do feel like Sephiroth is an exception and not the rule to follow,
Yeah.
considering just how
He's
big of
Yeah.
so,
a thing he is.
he's so impactful. There's a characters that have to follow that sort of legacy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you like Nintendo's line of thinking was like, oh wow, our cloud reveal was like so huge, like that was such a social buzz storm, right? So let's just double dip the well with. That's probably like where they're coming from, honestly, because they're
And
super
Where to?
safe. They knew it would be
Yeah.
a big deal.
and he's one of the most iconic and recognizable villains in all of video games. Him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wesker,
Yeah.
Wily, Bowser, Ganondorf, Eggman.
King K. Rule,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Back in the day, he would have been. Not so much anymore.
Yeah. Now it's Tiki Tong, baby.
Tiki Mask, yeah.
Man, I was so disappointed when they did the reveal of the Donkey Kong section of Super Nintendo Land. And it's like, and the whole story was like, oh, and Tiki Tong took the banana. It's like, no, come on. Damn it.
that was Miyamoto's meddling. He's like, I made Tiki Tong. Rare made King K. Rule. So
Probably.
Just
Yeah,
the pride.
Tiki Tong is one of the most unoriginal, like
Yeah.
just that theme in general.
Yeah.
Tropical Freeze at least was a little better with that on the overall.
Do you guys
Yeah. What?
do you guys want to hear my king percentage? I think I have one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
2%.
2%? Yep, I think that's fair. I'm gonna say, I like 2. I like 2%, honestly.
I'll say 3.
I was debating 2 or 3.
Because yeah, a lot of things have to go right? Like you're saying, they might just choose Jin and Heihachi again. That maybe Echo Fighter, maybe not,
Yeah.
and then double dip the Tekken pool when it's already it's like its own niche in the fighting game community. I don't know about niche; it's definitely very popular. But like, it's just like there's so many popular fighting games. It's like, would a double dip for King be the same as a double dip for Sephiroth? And I'd say no.
Yeah. Like, I think there are a few third-party franchises that are in Smash Bros. That I could see them going back to. Tekken's
Street
not
Fighter, Castlevania,
Sonic.
Sonic. Yeah.
So Sonic, I think, is like the biggest
Number one, probably.
And depending on how you look at Mega Man and Final Fantasy, I mean,
It'd be cool to see Zero or X or something like that.
Yeah, I think
But,
Zero is
Yeah.
the bet there. Although
I agree with Eric's line of thinking too. Like there are just so many other fighting game franchises you can pull from, and
yeah, Virtual
unless
Fighter,
you're kind of at like
Clay
unless you're like at
Fighters,
a Chun-Li level, then I don't see the double.
Yeah,
Power
exactly.
Stone.
I would say like Guilty Gear, Blaze Blue too.
In Mortal Kombat, and I know like, it's like it's a big one, but
Capcom.
that's like there's stickiness with that, but it's still a big fighting game. But
Yeah, Dead or Alive. There's a lot. There's a lot. They can go retro with SNK again too, and give us Nakaruru like a lot.
SCB, the
Smash
fighters.
Fans want.
see, there's so many. Yeah, actually, Guilty Gear's taken off recently too.
Dragon Ball
It's like,
Sparking
yeah.
Zero.
Goku.
Give us the. Yeah. We don't need more than Goku though, so no Trunks. I know it's on Lister's shirt.
No. It's
Yeah.
Beerus. It's got to be Beerus.
Oh God.
Who?
I was gonna say, Jonno, you're laughing. You don't even know who that is. I barely know who it is.
It's like the ultimate Persian god
It's
cat.
like the god of chaos or some
that
shit.
guy.
Yeah, he's very powerful apparently. But
yeah.
I,
So next,
I wonder if Anka knows him.
Speaking of powerful purple characters,
Thanos?
Barney.
Gengar.
Barney.
He's a dinosaur from our imagination.
Have you seen the new Barney? Like
Wait,
at all?
No,
hold on.
is there a new
Hold
Barney?
on.
Okay.
New Barney?
Oh, hold on.
Oh God.
Yes.
I fear this.
Yeah, it's yes. I'll drop it in the chat
Ah!
later.
Oh my god, that's cursed. That is cursed.
Something
Oh,
should not be
no.
animated.
Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh no.
This picture alone looks a little.
Oh. Oh no.
Mm,
Is it with him hugging all the children and stuff? Oh my god.
They Coco Melon Barney, man. It's a travesty.
podcast.
Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Podcast listeners, I apologize. Podcast watchers, I also apologize because you're about to see this.
Listen to the voice as well
Oh,
when
Oh,
you
that
get a
I'm not
chance,
showing
because
people. This is
Yeah.
new Barney,
Hold on.
apparently, and it's terrifying. I don't like the way he's looking at that child.
Oh, brother.
meet the new voice of Barney. Let's see.
So Barney's chances of being in Smash are -5%.
I'll give him a 2.
-2?
Yeah, I guess. If it was the original Barney that looked like Shannon Sharp, I'd give him like a 5.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's a good time.
Come on, let's go in the room. Yeah, let's go in the room. Anyways, speaking of actual
swallowed by
good
Santa
purple
Claus.
characters, Gengar from Generation 1 Pokemon, the only good ghost type in the game. I'm not saying period. In Gen 1. Because, come on, Ghastly and Haunter statistically are just worse. So he's the only good ghost type. There's a reason Agatha has 2. Because there's no other ghost types yet. What the fuck?
Because it was
Gen
Agatha
1.
Yeah.
all along.
Yeah, it was. So Gengar, the second character that we ever made a moveset for as part of the Smashopia or our Supercast for this podcast, he is to this day still a very popular Pokemon. One of the most popular ghost types. I don't know what the popularity order is, but he's definitely fucking up there.
Poltergeist as well.
When they were in the lead up to Pokemon tournaments, the developers asked on Twitter what Pokemon people would want to see added to the game, and Gengar was heavily requested, and that's the reason why he got added. And the developers were surprised, apparently, that people were voting for Gengar. Apparently, ghost types are also popular in Japan in general, which kind of surprises me.
Isn't there also like a niche like Gengar only like super fan collector? It has like every single Gengar merchandise that exists. I'm pretty sure there's a guy that's like his whole thing is that.
I don't know anything about that, but I would not be surprised if it was true.
Who collects only Gengars? I'm pretty damn sure.
Coincidentally, that's the
Only
voice actor for the new
Gengars.
Barney.
What's that?
Only Gengars. What? Who?
Let's find this guy.
Oh, only Gengars. That sounds suggestive.
Meet the world's biggest Gengar collector.
Nice. We're learning so
Pokemon
much
fan
today.
shows off impressive Gengar merch collection. Oh boy. That's
Another
not
Gengar
bad.
collector sharing their love of collecting.
That's a bunch of cards and a bunch of figures. I don't know. I have no idea. Wait.
There's a guy with like, all the plushies too. Every single plushie that ever released. I'm trying to see if I can find it.
What's this buff ass Gengar? What?
I like the Gengar beanbag chair.
I don't see the same thing you guys
Oh
are.
my word. Eh.
Oh, there's like
Here's-
YouTube video. I can't click on this and watch it because the audio will go into the episode. So
Need to watch it later.
I need to fix.
I like that guy's
how
facial
I have
expression
things set up.
in the thumbnail.
Thought I did, but maybe I didn't do it here. So Gengar as a character
Gengar.
for Smash Brothers. There are over 1,000 Pokemon. So that's barrier number 1. It's kind of hard to get past that.
Mhm.
And it's also a Gen 1 Pokemon. We're presumably on the verge of Gen 10.
Gen 10.
Mhm.
Smash
Gen 10.
The only time Smash has ever gone backwards
in 10.
in terms. Are
Sorry.
you done?
No.
Okay. The only time Smash has ever gone backwards when it
And
comes to adding, I will mute you.
yeah, Eric, what's up with that?
The only time Smash has ever gone backwards on adding characters from the Pokemon franchise as playable characters in Smash was in Brawl when they added in the Pokemon trainer having Squirtle, Ivysaur, and Charizard. And that doesn't mean that we won't go backwards into previous gens, especially since it's not like they completely ignore old Pokemon when they move on to a new generation, despite Dexit now being a thing. And they also have a huge, some would say, over dedicated love to pushing Gen 1 down everybody's fucking throats.
Regional forms, Alolan forms, like new mega
Indie
forms.
dog, if you will.
Always bring them back. Yep.
Gengar is one of the few Pokemon that got both a Mega and a Gigantamax form, though. So the Pokemon Company, at the very least, does still like him, and they want to promote that character. So he's popular, at least with the devs.
Yeah. And a point that I think too. Sorry, I didn't know you're still talking.
No, go ahead.
Okay, a point that I think too that has been referenced in the anime a few times is Gengar's one of the first two Pokemon you ever see when you beat up the game.
That's true.
Him and
Nidorino.
Nidorino. And one of those characters at least stands a chance.
Yep.
Yeah.
Both in that fight and in Smash.
Yeah. Well, Nidorino has ground type moves, and Gengar back then didn't have Levitate.
True. But as far as Gen 1 Pokemon go, and Pokemon in general, you're either going for the flavor of the week, with like a new Evo of a starter Pokemon or a legendary. But then, as you said, there's still that outside shot for a double going backwards a generation. Yeah. I would like to see that and manifest in other ways, like Gen 3 rep or something. But at the very least, Gengar's cool. I wouldn't be against it. And I think it's one of the more popular Pokemon. So I still think it has a decent chance. It's just hard to telegraph like what that percentage is because it's such a fun bag when you don't consider the current generation as the in for the newcomer.
Yeah, part of the reason why with our roster index project we only looked at the newest generations because that's what Smash has traditionally done. Again, the only exception being the Pokemon Trainer. Like they've even skipped games. They've even skipped games because like Gen 5 or Gen 3 wasn't the most recent gen anymore, so they skipped it and gave us Lucario. Gen 5 was the most recent gen anymore, so they skipped it and gave us Greninja. Well, Gen 8's not the most recent gen anymore, and Gen 9 might not be the most recent gen anymore. Who knows what we'll get for the next Smash as far as Pokemon is concerned. All I can really say with confidence is that of all the Gen 1 Pokemon, Gengar is in top 5 of what I think are the best picks to represent Gen 1 as like the next Gen 1 Pokemon being out of Smash. I don't know fully who the top 5 is. All I can say for sure is that Gengar, Eevee, and Meowth are in that top 5. So maybe he's just top 3. I can't think of who these other two characters would be. But
Omen Knight. All hail Omen Knight.
Over Omastar?
Helix. Lord Helix.
But Omastar over Omanite though.
Omen
right?
Knight.
Okay.
No, Omen Knight.
Oh, all right. Well, Jinx.
And Krabby.
Oh, God.
I don't know if I go that far.
It'll be Jinx and Bellsprout.
Scyther might be kind of cool with a Cleave or Scizor, but
I don't really know how you do like this. Yeah, I've tried to think about Cleavor, but I don't know. There's some difficulties. But
Bellsprout would be better than Jinx.
Disagree.
Victory Bell.
I do think Bellsprout would be funny.
I do think I agree with you there. Gengar being at least top 3, top 5. Yeah, probably top 3. Honestly, like if realizable.
Yeah.
Characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said though, the barrier to entry is, the sheer mounting and choose from, and Gen 1 being both a boon and a bane. Oldest, so a lot of nostalgia, but also not so relevant, right? Unless they have a remake again coming out, but
Yeah.
I don't think they would, right?
Yeah.
So I'm leaning low, I think, even though like I would like it.
I'm low, but I'm higher
Potentially,
than the other characters that we've talked about today.
yeah. I think I'm like a 6-7%. Yeah, but we'll say 7%.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
we're coming up on generation 10 horizon, so I'm going to say 10%.
I was also going to say 10, but I think now I'll say 9.
Okay.
So what
Like Final
that is
Fantasy
gonna
9 on your shirt.
it's the best Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
So that will average out to 8.6%, which I think is a fair number.
I guessed that from the very beginning. I knew that number was coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Lies.
So John's a psychic type Pokemon.
Jonno is a fairy type Pokemon in that he's a
He's a
little
psychic
shit.
fairy.
He's a
I can.
dark. I was gonna say dark fairy. He's a fucking impidimp.
Wow, Jesus. Tell us how you really feel.
I say that, but I do like impidimp. But Jonno has gremlin energy.
There you go. Yeah.
Speaking of
I don't disagree.
gremlin characters, it's Gizmo from Gremlins.
Oh, I thought it was Soggy the Dark Clown.
No. Okay, I will give you points for that, though. I do like that. It's actually Mr. Rossetti from Animal Crossing.
Oh.
Which I think is an interesting choice because, typically Animal Crossing, we're thinking of Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Nobody else. After Isabel. Outside shot appears like
Maybe
Blathers.
Blathers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blathers, crazy red.
Captain, maybe.
KK.
Captain, KK Slater.
KK Slater.
And Rossetti, Rossetti, I don't think would have been on
It's
anybody's
weird.
mind until I think it was New Leaf when we finally saw his lower body hanging out when he was in the cafe. I want to say that's when it was. Maybe it was City Folk or something. I don't know.
I think it was Sinful.
It might have been. I'm not. I only pretty much have only played original Animal Crossing and then New Horizons. Anything in the middle, I was like, no. They're all the same.
Yeah,
game.
Folk wasn't great.
Fight me, Animal Crossing fans. They're the same games.
Yeah.
I'm not getting onto that one. You should have kept those fighting words for when you were in Ontario.
Hey, I'll say this: better than Call of Duty. At least there's
That's
years
a low bar.
between. Listen. I'm trying.
So McTavish for Smash, huh?
No.
You know what's weird about Mr. Rossetti though is like, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't he like not even in the newest games anymore? Like he used to be like such a staple character.
I don't. Let me check something.
Because he's not functionally the same anymore with like the harassing you for closing your game without saving. He doesn't do that anymore for sure.
He's not like. Oh, he is in the game as of the 2.0 update. He can be found at the Roost, which is the
coffee shop.
Yes. But then his previous job of yelling you for turning the game off without saving is gone because the game has autosave now. And they actually reference that. So he got fired from the surveillance center because it's gone. Yeah. But now he works part of the rescue services team. So whenever your player gets stuck on an island or you get lost or something, you can't get back to where you were. He is like, you don't see him do it, but he's basically the guy that goes there to rescue you. And I'm guessing he digs a tunnel, and that's how he takes you back, probably.
Okay, makes sense.
I think Rossetti would be he's definitely an underdog Animal Crossing pick because again, KK Slider, Blathers, Tom Nook.
KK Slider is yeah.
It's gotta be Tom Nook though, right? Come on, and then Blathers and KK after that. But Rossetti, I think he stands a chance as a dark horse. I don't know that he has great odds, but I think they're more positive than we would initially believe.
It's not as far as Animal Crossing goes. Like he's within the realm, I would say.
Yeah.
Like it's due to legacy. Also, he's a pretty iconic part of the first game. Like all the dialogue and stuff. It's just like it's such a creative way to try not to abuse, older hardware
Yeah.
for save scumming. And I mean, I feel like it actually was a good deterrent, which is really cool. But I feel like his recent iterations are almost like a shadow of what it used to be. Like this,
Yeah.
So that's tougher. I like it though. But I do think Tom Nook or KK Slider would come first. And if we use that logic for Cranky Kong, I think for applying it to Rossetti, I think I'm looking at like 3%.
Fair.
I think that's fair. Rossetti's, I agree with the common thread being his chances may be a little higher than we think, but again, there's Tom Nook and a few other standout characters like Blathers or KK might be of equal or greater footing to him. I'll just match Eric's 3%.
I'm gonna say 5.
Cool.
Contrarian, also.
Well, that seems to be my role. That
But
averages out to
that's what
being
happened. He went to East Canada
3.66%.
once.
This last one is a character that I don't know why they're here. And I say that because I thought I picked these characters, or at least I definitely know I would have picked King. I don't remember picking this character. This is a character that Jonno would pick and has picked in Roster Redux.
Uh-oh.
And Flamezone, I think you'll have some things to say here.
Oh no. Is there a certain...
It's Ryota Hayami
Ape?
of Wave Race.
Oh, okay.
It is a
Okay.
certain ape. A human.
Hey, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that Flames and I are brothers in water and our search for a true water based athlete for Smash.
Yes.
So Tidus from Final Fantasy X. We're gonna play Blitzball, guys.
Exciting. Can I bring my I forgot the name of it. The whole fashion thing into my fashion pod.
Your dress sphere from 10 to?
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, that thing.
I don't want to know what dress sphere you use.
I'll show you next podcast.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo. I mean, naturally, his chances are not that high.
Yeah, they're not.
Wave Race is a dead franchise, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Another one of those ones, kind of like F-Zero, unfortunately, that hasn't had a significant new release since the GameCube era. And it's just less recognizable. There was a time, N64, GameCube era where it wouldn't have been that outlandish, but now he's just contending with so many other different retro characters, and until Wave Race makes a splash again, which might happen. Hell if I know. I mean, weirder shit has happened. He's like a 2%.
Yeah. No, like I think like just like you're right about like the modernicity of this. Like it's too late now. Like there's definitely an interesting discussion to be had. I really enjoyed that discussion actually, like in the Roster Redux episode he was in, and that was like the kind of alternate timeline where he could have been a serious consideration, but like you mentioned, in the modern era, I don't think it's realistic. But he's very, very cool, and Rave Race was a big deal when it came out, but they just haven't had the momentum since.
What I will say about Ryota is Jonno going so hard on him for Roster Redux has made me be like, what if I did it? What if I pulled the trigger on this one and I took his joke and made it into a thing? Oh, no, I'm sorry, not it wasn't a joke for Jonno. Let me correct that. From my perspective at the time, I definitely thought it was. But Jonno and I have spoken about it since, and it was like, oh, you weren't trolling.
It was legit.
There were a couple times where I thought he was trolling with some characters. It's like, I don't know who to do here. Ryota. But no, he wasn't. But I have in the past, like, I've taken something that Jonno just threw out there as a joke and just like, and this is mine now. I'm gonna do something with this and surprise you with it later. And I do have some things in the plans for things in the future.
Classic
Nice.
call.
Nice.
Nope. But
Well, classic Kong's in
Ryota,
my future, but
Ryota being playable in Smash, I definitely think you can make a move with it, or moveset with him. I've
Mhm.
thought about some ideas. His odds are pretty low. Like, at this point, he would be a, hey, remember this franchise kind of character?
Yeah,
Like, even more so,
like the Ice Climbers kind of deal.
yeah, like, even though Golden Sun is a dead franchise, people still talk about Golden Sun, and they repeatedly want Isaac in. People aren't asking for Ryota on that same level. There's probably some people out there saying like, "Hey, add Ryota." It's not on an Isaac tier. It's not on a Chibi Robo tier. It's not on Ray from Custom Robo.
it
It's
might be
gonna be
above
more
Ray
like
from Disaster.
well, it's
Day of
probably
Crisis.
it's probably at the same level as Doshin the Giant.
I would love that. I want Doshin in the game.
I'm sure you would. It's
He
like
can like move his hands around.
it's Ryota being in hinges entirely on the Sakurai wildcard factor.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He would
Yeah.
like nobody would pick him. Nobody from Nintendo would pick him except for Sakurai.
Yeah.
And he does that kind of stuff sometimes. But
He does.
it really depends on how many characters the next team is going to add into its base roster. Because Ultimate doing Everyone Is Here, we talked about this recently. We only got 11
Yeah.
newcomers in
If there's
Ultimate before in the base roster.
Yeah.
And half
ain't
that
no
was
way if that's the
Echoes.
case.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's like 20 newcomers, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Still
That's
a hard
the
maybe.
chaotic
but-
energy. Yeah. It's the chaotic energy that gave us Ice Climbers out of nowhere. So at least it's kind of prevalent in
yes,
a way.
but Melee, the rules were different.
Yeah, that's also true.
Like, they were allowed to be more loose with things back then. Look at how Ganondorf played.
Ugh. Yeah. So percentages for Ryota, I think I'll stick with 2. 1% for being a Nintendo character and 1% for it being a wildcard factor.
I'm going to go 4%.
Whoa.
Complete.
I should have gone 64.
Wild card. That is 4. Usually my Sakurai wildcardness is like adds 1 or 2%. This time, no. The wildcard is all the 4%.
I'll go in the middle. Go 3. Split the difference.
Does anyone do the math and tell me what the average of 2, 3, and 4 is? Oh my god, I don't know.
3.
Oh my, you're right. Thank you so
Hey,
much.
Barney taught me.
I failed kindergarten, so thank you for helping me with that.
I hate arithmetic.
You know what's wild though? All the characters that we talked about today are in the top 10 of the characters that we talked about so far for their chances this season.
The first episode.
Second episode. Second.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
They're all in the top 10. What did you guys review last time?
I mean, I guess we could tell him.
Yeah. Sargon from Prince of Persia. What's up there?
Okay.
Ashley Robbins from Another Code, Bill Reiser from Contra, Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII, and Astrobot.
Oh. Some of those probably didn't do so hot.
Only one of them got double digits. Just like today's episode.
Tifa, I bet.
No, Bill.
Whoa, not Tifa. Bill.
Listen.
Okay.
God, do we need a third Final Fantasy VII character? Come on.
Yes. Give it to me.
No. If it's anybody,
Give
it's
it to me.
Aerith or Zack.
It's
I want Barrett.
Frog Cloud.
I want Moogle.
Yeah, I want Moogle for Mario Hoops 3-on-3.
Tonberry.
Actually,
I want Tonberry.
All right.
Tonberry and Cactar.
All right. Listen, we're halfway through the episode, guys. It's time to go to Smash or Dash. We got two pairs of characters to debate here. Today's theme is third-party franchises Period. That they're pretty much they're already in Smash.
Period.
The first matchup
Yeah.
is between two fighting game ladies. We've got Chun-Li from Street Fighter versus Mai Shiranui. I don't know how it's pronounced. From
Shiranui.
Fatal, thank you. From Fatal Fury. Well, I know it is for Okami. I don't know if her name is also pronounced the same way.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay, sweet. So, yeah, this is exciting. Two femme fatales. One is certified for good boys and girls as is. The other one we're not so sure. But yeah, I guess a quick dresser on Chun-Li. I think that she's probably the most recognizable female fighting game character out on the block. Just a real like crossover queen along with Ryu. I think she's appeared in a number of different mediums and media over the many decades that Street Fighter's been a thing. She's a martial arts master. Her primary form of fighting is like kung fu. She has really strong legs. I wish I were as flexible as her. Can you imagine that? And her like signature moves mostly involve like kick based attacks, like flurries of kicks. And yeah, it's interesting, like fun like Chinese martial arts based character. Also has a miniature little blue like Hadouken like thing, but it's Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So there you go.
And the flip side of that, like Mai Shiranui. I would say like it's probably as close as Chun-Li as you can get on the other side of the coin. Maybe Yuri Sakazaki and Mai Shiranui are like pretty similar when it comes to like Fatal Fury King of Fighters, but Mai Shiranui is like one of the most recognizable too from the Fatal Fury and King of Fighters franchises. Is also one of the ones that is like a repeat character almost for almost every single entry. Like she just always makes her way back, like a staple of the series for sure. Essentially, she's like more of a ninja fighting style. Has like a signature fan attacks. She also has fire breath or like fire base attacks as well. She can conjure fire. It's kind of like a ninja-ish move set. She's more like the alluring ninja girl. Like you mentioned, good boys and girls. She has her typical clothing is revealing, and that's kind of overall what she's known for. It's gonna use that in her attacks as well, or like kind of even like there's some moves where she distracts her opponents because she's so self-aware of her looks, right? And if she were to make it into Smash, I think an easy fix would be alternate costumes of Mai, where it's more normal clothing, or maybe she's wearing a bodysuit underneath. Because obviously, there's a reason she was left out of Smash, right? But
it wouldn't be the first time Smash has alternate characters designs. Mithra, they gave Mithra I don't
like a bodysuit or like it's covered up her bit.
Yeah, they covered up her chest. I think they also like they were like
her legs too.
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called because she had like just complete bare leg and then shoe in Xenoblade. Then they gave her like
fishnets or something, maybe.
I don't know what it's called. Sure, tights. That's probably a better word to explain it.
Yeah.
All I could think was tall boots. It's like that's not accurate.
Tall boots.
And then Xenoblade 2 is like, oh hey, look, here's an accessory. If you equip it to Mithra, she'll take on her Smash Ultimate appearance. Like, okay.
Is that cool? Appearance? I don't know.
I mean, it's Smash's ultimate appearance. In Chun-Li, like Chun-Li Street Fighter 6, she has a very covered up design. They changed up her look for this game. But then all previous games, like I mean, her design also would have had similar issues as mine. Possibly less so, but pretty close.
Yeah, in her original outfit, there was some elements, like if you see that dress, it's pretty obvious. When she kicks, you can see certain things.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, so it goes. I definitely think that, I wouldn't think that my base outfit is a big deal because, like Flamezone was saying, you can change it up. Like, and she's certainly.
She in the upcoming game, City of the Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves. She does have a completely new outfit. So just give her that outfit. Okay. You're good.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, that's pretty cool. That's a good outfit. Nice.
It's tough because like her kimono is like so iconic to her character or whatever, but like there's just no world in which it comes into Smash as is, right? Like
ESRB is gonna ESRB.
Yeah.
I think that's okay. I mean, give her new outfit, give Chun-Li her new outfit. Kind of like Link has gotten a new outfit. You know, it's all right.
Yeah.
Of course, you also get shirtless Sephiroth and shirtless Shulk, so there's maybe a certain level of
So
like
shirtless Mai and
one-sidedness.
Modders,
I mean,
get to work. But
not quite what I was getting at, but that was good.
I think they maybe would even look at like a Metroid treatment though of the somehow get the kimono, but maybe she's wearing like a whole like t-shirt and pants underneath. Like honestly, whatever, right?
T-shirt and pants.
Like
I think they
right.
do just like dark leggings.
Mm-hmm.
Dark leggings and maybe don't animate the
something
chest
for cleavage.
as much.
Something.
Yeah, there definitely be some cover up there.
In a shirt.
Don't know what, and I don't honestly care.
Put her in a quick trip polo. Still red.
It's like she's the only major Fatal Fury King of Fighters character to not be on the King of Fighters Stadium stage. And Shiva is the only major summon that really should be part of the Midgard stage and isn't there. Likely because of the same reason.
Shiva's kind of crazy to me. Like that's I guess there's so many. She has so many designs. I'm sure there's a way you can make it. Maybe she's wearing a big glowing dress or whatever. Like, geez, but
that's one of the things. Like the Eastern game development design with this whole family friendly thing is just so
hit and miss.
A little much. Like you think back to like the Tharya trophy getting banned by Sero as well. Like okay,
geez.
It's like whatever. But all that being said, I think relevancy wise, both of these characters are legacy, very well regarded female fighters, representative of just being iconic woman fighters and the fighting game genre. So I think they both stand on their own.
Chun-Li was introduced in Street Fighter 2. Mai was introduced in Fatal Fury 2.
Yeah. And Capcom and SNK, I mean, the Street Fighter and Fatal Fury, they are in many ways contemporaries of each other. And
indeed, they are. Because for the first time, Street Fighter 6 is having guest characters enter the game. So Terry and Mai are being added to Street Fighter 6, and then the upcoming. Oh, you didn't know this?
No, I did not know that. Hold on.
This is old news. And then to add to it anymore, let's blow your mind a little bit more. In Fatal Fury City of the Wolves, Ken and Chun-Li are being added to that game.
That's crazy, actually.
Not Ryu, which is the weird thing. But sure.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome in this game.
Maybe they're including Ken so that we can be like, oh, Terry, you look different.
No, there is a reason for Ken. Ken has like an in-universe rivalry with a certain character. I think it might be I'm trying to see who it is. He has a rivalry with some character in in King of Fighters, or not King of Fighters, Fatal Fury, because of like the SNK Capcom crossover games. So they wanted to have him specifically, and they decided not to do Ryu because, well, the two of them play almost the same, and that would kind of be boring. So it's like, Chun-Li is cool. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's add Chun-Li.
I can agree with that. Having it's Ryu and Ken would definitely be boring, redundant. And Smash is fine because it means Echo Fighters, whatever. So yeah, I mean, it just comes down to how you want the character to fight, I guess. And I'm gonna say, like, as a proponent of Chun-Li, I would actually like to see Chun-Li quite a bit in Smash for the reasons I think she's like slightly edges out Mai for in terms of iconicity, but Mai sounds more interesting. At this junction, like her being a kunoichi and having these ninja-esque capabilities, like using her fan in her attacks and the fire and this and that sets her apart from other fighting game characters. And I would imagine that you can use like the combo-based system that Terry and the other fighting game characters in Smash have for her, while also still using that like ninja basis. That would be cool.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
we talked about this a few times. Like it's interesting. Smash doesn't have like there's Greninja and there's Sheik. Neither of them are really like true ninjas. Not really. So having somebody who is like an actual ninja fighter would be fun to have.
Mhm.
For sure. For sure. Because you get Sheik and you get Greninja, but they're like Ninja Light. They have other things going on with their character that prevents them from being a full on like
Mhm.
ninja archetype.
Like
Mai feels like
shurikens
she
and
would. Yeah, she feels a little more legit in that department, and it seems like she has a lot of kick based attacks too. So kind of encroaching on Chun-Li's territory there as well.
Yeah.
interesting. I think another point too, maybe the Chun-Li is just like the timing of when the characters represented within Smash themselves, because like Terry is a pretty recent addition as is for Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, it being the DLC tail end of Ultimate, whereas Ken and Ryu have been around a bit. Well, not Ken, but Ryu's been around since 4, right? Via DLC. So
Yes.
within the realm of Smash, I feel like Street Fighter almost has more due than Fatal Fury does in terms of getting a second rep between the two.
Third.
Third rep, I guess.
Oh
I don't know.
yeah.
Echo Fighters
Yeah.
is iffy,
If
but
this was rate their chances, Chun-Li would have a higher percentage than Mai, yeah.
I mean, purely because of the good boys and girls thing.
yeah, that's true. That too.
Yeah.
I mean, more reasons than that, but that's a big piece of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I feel, I don't know. I think both of these both have merit. They both would fight unique enough. You can pull from straight from their games like we do with the other fighting game characters. They all have like their moves that they pull with their combo system and whatnot. Chun-Li's got Kikoshin and all her other shit that she can do. I don't know the names of all her moves because it's words that I don't understand. Sue me.
Yeah.
Uh, but
Not until
she's
you're
got her own
rich.
stuff. And Mai has her own techniques. I think Mai overall would be more unique than Chun Li would be. Chun Li has, I think, more general overall, not appeal. That's not the word I want to say. Um,
Oh, she has appeal, all right.
Jesus.
she has more general, like more people know her recognizability. More people know
Yeah.
Chun Li than who know Mai.
Yeah.
There's
And
been
I will say
multiple
this
Street Fighter
about
movies. Chun Li had her. Didn't
yeah,
Chun Li have her own movie?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm
pretty
pretty
Yeah.
sure she had her own movie. Wasn't good.
No video game movie was good until like Sonic came out.
Yeah, The Legend of Chun Li. She was portrayed by Kristen Kruk or Kruk. I don't know how it's pronounced. Who I know from Smallville. I don't know from literally anything else. Wait. She left the show to do the Chun Li movie. Oh, girl, I'm sorry.
A 3% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
Oh wow.
oh.
I
Wow, exactly.
again like and I said this for like Phosphor versus Mallow back in the day too. I think this applies to Chun-Li as well. Her moveset being so oriented around a single concept, being her different ways of using her legs to fight. You know, on one hand, that's less interesting than a character with more to do with just the different ninja skills like Mai. But having that like very central character in game design makes for like a very satisfying character to play as. Like a
I'd agree with that too.
Like Marth or whoever, someone who's centered around the idea of tippers and fencing. It's why he's one of my mains. It's a simple idea realized very well.
Yeah, and it's also a good complement to like Ryu and Ken's fist-based fighting style, like for the most part, right? Like they like Chun-Li, like I imagine she'd almost be in the same realm of like mechanics in terms of like how she would jump,
Mm-hmm.
and would like in command inputs for sure. But I think that her command inputs would be varied enough, and I think she also has some grab-based ones too. You can throw in there, like maybe a command grab on an input or something, like it would shake it up quite a bit.
I like I like the idea of Mai shaking things up and having having like her fan base moves and the fire again, like that's just a very different approach for a fighting game character, and something that Fatal Fury and SNK games in general have done quite well. You know, I would like her about as much as I would like a Nakaruru or whatever. Like it's up there. It's up there for sure when I think about SNK characters.
It's a good matchup and stuff.
Yeah, I've gone back and forth in my head a few times on who I would vote for. Yeah. But I mean, is there anything more to say? We've spoken on the history and iconicity of the characters, their what they do, you know. So I don't know if there's really much else to say. Maybe we vote.
Let's vote. Jonno,
Okay.
what do you think?
Again, it's difficult because these characters are so evenly matched, and they're two disparate design concepts. One is, you know, what can you fit in to this overarching ninja concept that's broader themed, and one is how can you satisfy with a kick-based fighter, you know, a very singular idea. And both characters play well, and both characters are icons of their franchises, so it's hard to say. I think I will throw Chun-Li a bone. I mean, I don't think that's surprising. I stump for her in roster redux. I like the idea of the character, even though that would be triple dipping for Street Fighter. I think the legacy of that character is high enough to warrant the vote.
Yeah.
All right. For me, one of these characters I know quite a bit better than the other, because I've actually played a few Street Fighter titles, and I've never played a Fatal Fury. My vote is going to come down to who I think would be more unique and fun, and also the fact that one of these franchises only has one character in Smash so far, and that means I vote for Mai.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ninja, fire, acrobatic stuff. I mean, Chun-Li also is acrobatic as well. But yeah, I think Mai would be fun. I'm voting for her.
Yep.
Oh, that's a tough spot because I've been back and forth too in our discussions. Like it's that
Yeah.
close. It's just like
Yeah,
It
they'd
is,
both be
man.
good. They'd both be good.
yeah, because like I know like we're trying to just like we're removing ourselves from like the logistics of things, right? We're just like whoever you think would be your personal
Yeah.
preference. Hey, yeah.
That's all it comes down to for this vote. Follow your heart, as Mufasa's ghost said.
I
Heart of the
really
cards, guide
thought
me.
I really thought I was gonna to stand for Chun-Li here as like the number 2, but I think I will give it to Mai.
All right.
Dang.
Your taste has improved over the years.
I mean,
Give a dog a
you're
bone.
the biggest Saria fan I know.
Mhm.
Oh Lord, she's an okay character.
All right, so Mai is going to be appearing later in the season. We'll get to the Tournament of Champions, which Eric was the guest for last season.
Yeah,
Who will be the
which
guest
means
this
he won't
season?
be the guest this season.
Yeah. So far, we've tried not to use a guest, or not to use the guest for Tournament of Champions, who is also a guest for that season for a Smasher Dash. It's not a hard-coded rule, but it's something that we've tried for.
Yeah. It's kind of like not having more than one third-party character in Smash.
Yeah.
Still kind
not
of.
having
It's like
more than one
semi.
Eric on the podcast.
So far, we've done that pretty well.
Yeah.
It'll be my Uncle Doug. He would be so confused. Let's do it.
No context. Hey, Uncle Doug, do you want Mai or Leon Kennedy in Smash? Ooh.
Mai's gonna end up winning the entire tournament.
All right. Well,
Oh,
let's go ahead and dive into our second matchup here. Some characters I know better. This time we got 2 Final Fantasy reps, and in multiple ways, these are pretty good matchups for these 2 characters from the old days, back in
The old days.
Yeah,
I heard
long time
already.
ago. From Final Fantasy VI, Terra Branford. Her
Great
opponent
game.
from Final Fantasy 16, Clive Rosfield.
Great game too.
If you like action games. Sorry, Yoshi.
Yeah,
I do.
It's
I
good.
am interested in playing that game.
It's
I
a
have
bad
played
Final
six.
Fantasy.
I'm interested in watching it. It's just not my style of game I like to play. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough as it's a Final Fantasy game, but it kind of plays more like a Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they
it's
have
interesting.
they hired. I think he worked on the May Cry, or at least he worked on like some Capcom action games. It was like their big guy for doing action shit. They hired him, and it's like, hey, help us.
My biggest thing is like I could like the action game part is like really fun and like super satisfying combat, but they
wait.
still tried to keep the RPG stuff in there. So like the upgrading your weapons or armor is like so tacky and it just doesn't fit well.
Slight
But the
correction.
game's great.
The Capcom guy they hired wasn't for 16. It was for Remake and Rebirth. He
Mm.
fixed and built the combat system for Remake.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because they did
Nice.
not have an idea of what to do. And they're just like, hey, Capcom guy, you used to do this, right? Help. It's like, okay. 2 days later, he had a system built.
He did a good job.
Yeah, he did. Like, Remake, it's got some weaknesses in its combat, but the guy did it in 2 days, and then he fixed it in Rebirth. Like, major credit. But these two characters here, starting with Terra Branford. Terra is the main heroine of Final Fantasy VI. She is who, like, 6 kind of has more of a what's the word when you have a big roster and it's like not one central character? I can't think of it here.
Not rogues gallery, but like a big cast, I guess.
An ensemble cast.
Thank you.
Ensemble.
Ensemble. Final Fantasy 6 has a bit of an ensemble cast, but even of them, Terra is like at the top of the list. She's who you play as first. She's the representative for Dissidia. She starts out as a character that has been a mind-controlled weapon for years by an empire who's been using her magical talents to suppress the people. Which is interesting because magic is supposed to be gone from the world, and yet, how does this girl use magic? What the fuck? Well, it turns out she's a half human, half Esper child. Esper being Final Fantasy VI's word for summons in this game. The games that call them Eidolons, Icons, summons. Those are really the big words for calling those. Her father being Maduin, who was unique to Final Fantasy VI. She can wield a sword, but she's mainly known for being a big magic user. And she breaks out of the brainwashing early on through the help of another summon, Valigamanda. And then she ends up joining the resistance and fighting back against the Empire, and they're not happy about it. It's like, our weapon is now fighting against us. What the fuck, guys? Like, yeah, fuck Kafka.
Yeah.
But she can learn.
Kafka.
She learns. She's one of only 2 playable characters that learns magic via level up. The other being Cells, who was also formerly part of the Empire. It was had magic implanted in her. I don't really know what the full deal with her is. And then she can use Magicite to learn more spells, like all the other characters can. And she has an Esper form that she can transform into. She kind of loses control of herself and do big nuke magic damage.
Mm-hmm. Isn't Cell the ultimate creation?
Mm-hmm.
That is Cell. I'm talking about Cells.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
CELLES.
Yeah.
Cells shit.
Oh. Yes.
I really like this. Yeah, I really like this matchup too because it's actually like instances of where, 2 Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy's anthology series, but both of these characters are like so intricate or so involved with the summons of their specific games. To talk about Clive, you had to talk about the world of Final Fantasy 16. So, if as a somewhat recent game, if you're listening, you might just want to be aware of spoilers coming out. You can't really talk about Clive without some spoilers of that game. So you're warned. So essentially, Final Fantasy 16 is a world like where every region, whether you're an empire, a duchy, whatnot, they have icons which are the summons of the traditional Final Fantasy games as their kind of threat or like their a way to protect their nation or like kind of have world power. It's kind of like that's their mark on the world. And our protagonist Clive Rosfield is the main guy, cool, stoic, typical male protagonist. And he's supposed to be the dominant of Rosaria, which is the land of the Phoenix. But unfortunately, he wasn't. He didn't inherit the power as he would have expected from his father there. Instead, his younger brother was inherited the power of the Phoenix. So that means he's next in line for kingdom. And Clive dedicates himself to being the first shield of his younger brother. Tragedy occurs throughout the early game, and it is unveiled that Clive actually does have an icon of his own, something thought long gone in the world, Ifrit, and that it's somewhat of a surprise to the cast, right? So going forward, Clive kind of turns into a Mega Man-esque, has his power to actually steal icons from others willingly or not, and is able to take on the summoning powers of many different icons throughout the game, which is like an ultimate conduit, essentially unheard of. So similar to Terra, Clive also can morph essentially into all the icons of his world as he is on a hell-bent quest to do right by his kingdom.
Yeah.
All right. So we have two very summon focused characters. The two most summon focused characters of the entire Final Fantasy franchise, Yuna would be number 3, but she just summons them. She's not part summon or can become one like Clive can.
Even Terra can morph too, I believe, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Terra is part Esper. She can take on her Esper form, and then Clive can just be like, "Yo, I'm Ifrit now."
Yep.
And then he's in a giant kaiju battle with Titan or whoever else. Titan,
They had some
Garuda,
crazy
Ramu. Jonno, seriously.
Emmett Stouch.
Wrong game. Same director or producer. I don't know what his role was for 16 necessarily. Wrong game. I swear to God, I want to kill you. Jesus Christ. But
that was a Xenogears character.
No.
Xenosaga.
Fuck off. So Terra is, while she can wield a sword, she is primarily a magic-based character. Like she's considered versatile, so she can use them just fine. And she's primarily, funnily enough, she's also mainly associated with fire element for her most of her magic that she learns naturally with spells like fire, flare, and meltdown. But with Magicite, anybody can learn any of the spells. It's just equip the character with Magicite and they'll learn the spells over time. And then she has Trance, her unique form, where she goes into this pinkish, purplish, flying Esper, kind of feral looking person. Mm-hmm. And she can just like do either like rip into you or trying to see if there's like a name for any of the attacks that she's. I know there's like in Final Fantasy 6 they have limit breaks, but they're called desperation attacks, which is completely separate from her her thing. Riot Blade, that's what she has. So she basically sends out like magical blades of energy flying into a whole group of enemies. But other than that, she doesn't have like a whole lot of unique stuff from 6 itself. The Cydia games, they give her some stuff that's unique. But it's again primarily focusing on certain spells to kind of like quote unquote canonize things that she would be more associated with. In the original 2 Dissidia games, this would be fire, a combo with some blizzard orbs she just melee combos you with, firing out a Blizzara, Ice Diamond, Graviga, Meteor, Thundara, holy and holy combo. She shoots off like 5 balls of holy energy that home in on you. She then also has flood, which is a magical or a water attack that summons water from above, from below you, and then shoots it straight up. Tornado, she summons 3 giant tornadoes that swirl around her, and meltdown, which was a giant ball of fire. In Dissidia, it's basically just a fireball, but in Final Fantasy, the meltdown spell is also used to lower an opponent's defense stat. Or no, it's either lowers their stat or just pierces through. I don't remember exactly which one it is. And then she's got Firaga and Ultima, as well as some of her attacks. In Dissidia NT, I just check and see if they have anything different there, because that game completely changed things. Chaotic Current. I don't really know. She sucks in opponents and then does push them back with a pulse of energy, apparently. I'm not too familiar with NT. But then I know Clive not only has something he can do as Ifrit, but there's also like abilities that you can equip, I believe, in 16.
Yep.
I don't know too much about it, and then I know there's like a counter one that apparently is a godsend, and I think Lunge is something, but I'm not seeing a list of all of them that I can easily look through.
Yeah, so like every icon, like I was mentioning the Mega Man part, is because when you like, for example, one of the earliest ones he takes, I think, is who's the Harpy summon typically again?
Garuda. You're thinking Garuda.
Garuda, yeah. That's one of his first ones, and you can kind of set your hotkeys to like multiple abilities between the summons you have. So you can be like, you dash in with a Phoenix Flame, or you like get sprout giant talons and do like a swiping attack. Like he like takes on the icons in like all respects, and like can put them into his moveset going forward once he captures them in his own body.
Peace.
Yeah.
Do you think that if Clive were to get into Smash, would he use abilities from multiple different icons, or would they just focus down on being like Ifrit and maybe a little bit of Phoenix?
It totally yeah, like there's two ways you could do it. You could do it like the full ensemble, like just like icons, like kind of like a summon E character, or you could, if you wanted to make it more streamlined, you could do it with just Ifrit and just Phoenix abilities too. Like it'd be very fire orientated, because like also Ifrit also has specific abilities that he has too, but the common thread is that they're both fire icons, right?
Right.
Do you think
so
that perhaps sorry, was
Go
that
ahead.
Oh, do you think that perhaps you can use the different icons in like a wheel-based format, kind of akin to Hero, Dragon Quest,
Or Shulk, yeah, equip it. Like you could like use a B and like choose which icon. It could completely switch up what special moves you have too. Like Shulk could be really interesting too. That'd be a lot.
God,
It'd be a lot, but it would be something he could do.
Yeah. Oh no.
Yeah, like a stance change character. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah, because I think there's 6+ throughout the game that he can get.
That's
Ifrit,
cool.
Ramu,
That's cool.
Phoenix, Shiva. Actually, I don't know if he gets Shiva, because that's another character.
Yeah, he does.
He does?
Yep.
Okay. Titan. Does
Full
he get
spoilers of this
Bahamut?
podcast.
Because I know Bahamut is with the main villain. Okay.
Yep. Well, actually, it's not that's not even the main villain.
Well,
like,
he's not
the story
the final
changes
boss.
so much.
He's not the final boss, but he's like one of the primary antagonists. Same with Garuda.
It's more complicated than it looks.
I mean,
but yeah, you get Odin, you get Bahamut, you get them. If you see them, you get them basically.
Okay. I don't think there are too many. So like, it has like some of the least amount of summons of any Final Fantasy. I'm pretty sure, but that's because they're attached like in this lore manner. I think it and 15 are both like really low in the general number.
Yeah,
it's because Bahamut is more like the Goro of the series of the game.
Yeah, the Goro. Wow.
If anything is Goro, it's Titan. Jesus Christ! You gotta say shit that makes sense. Oh, and that's right. Like the DLC has Leviathan. Oh, Odin is in here as well. Who's
Odin's in there.
Odin.
You might not know him if you only know early game.
Oh, wait! I thought he had Bahamut.
Nope.
Oh, I see. I had it mixed up. Who I was saying is main antagonist is actually Odin, not Bahamut. Okay.
Yes.
Now you know who I'm thinking of then.
Yep.
That explains that. Yeah, he's not a bad guy, I don't think.
I love the adult nature of like of 16 overall too. Like there's like some darker scenes, and also like they really set the tone in the opening where like a normal soldier like Titans ravaging the land, and then he sends out a big shockwave, and a boulder comes flying and just crushes a soldier into nothing. It's like, oh my god,
Jesus.
Jesus.
You know, that's
like no joke.
Titans
that's kind of like the
weapons
opening
nuts.
of Xenoblade 3 for me. Actually, they really set the tone right away. Like, oh, this is not
Oh, nice. I need to catch up because I've heard 3 is really good.
It is.
I did 2.
It's a
2 is my
it's a
barrier.
fantastic
I want to go 1, 2, 3. And I played 1. I love 1, but
Sadly,
2, I'm just like,
everyone dies.
oh man. In what? 1?
What? No,
You motherfucker.
I can't really say a whole lot, but it's worth. I get it. Like 2 is a little on you, you know. Like
my girlfriend's gonna be like,
cringy.
"What the fuck are you playing when I play that game?"
Just
We'll
tell her
see.
that you have a blushy crushy on her.
they'll understand. It's fine.
You're
Oh, God.
she is Poppy. Papa. She is Poppy to your Torah.
But is it Poppy
Those are
Alpha,
words.
Poppy QT, or Poppy QT Pie?
Is that a real character name in that game?
Yes. Processing.
Wow.
Processing.
Error. Does not compute.
Poppy PewDiePie. Good
Wow.
Lord. Yeah, so Clive or Terra. Oh man. It's
a great
difficult again. Like I didn't
Like,
realize that Terra
if-
and Clive had these many things in common.
Yep. It's like initially they would just pick to be like, okay, retro Final Fantasy character, and then the newest one. And then this episode was originally planned for last season. It was going to be Terra versus Noctis because Clive didn't exist yet.
That would have been worse for Noctis.
Yeah. Oh, it would have been a slam fucking dunk. I do like his teleporting sword tricks. Those are cool. But
That's it.
then it was like we moved this episode back into this season. Clive exists now. It's like, all right, well, we'll sub out Noctis for Clive. That makes sense.
And it's way better.
And then it turns out it's like, oh wow, we actually have a really good matchup here. Like, I think Noctis's better opponent would have been like Cecil, probably.
Yeah, or Squall, or something.
Maybe.
Thinking about it.
Noctis is prince, and Cecil becomes king.
I guess that there's that line too. But how?
There you go. Anyway,
yeah, Squall's just a mercenary.
Yeah. What about the lightning? Anyway,
gosh. Yeah, this is tough.
It's tough.
They're both like. Oh, go ahead.
No, you. Oh,
I was gonna say that they're both like in like their baseline is like they both have that through line like where they're both fire orientated at their core, but they can branch off into so many different paths too.
Yep.
Clive has a little bit of a knock against him just because he's another sword wielder for one, right? And then Terra does have magic spells and like Lister is saying, lots of different ways she manifests magic and a transformation too into like an Esper herself. It's like full body transformation, become a more feral version. Like that, maybe she'd be like a range and melee oriented character if she has a transformation mechanic. Something cool there. But likewise, Clive, if they do expand upon him and like kind of represent all the icons within his moveset in some capacity, or like even the stance change that you guys were saying that augments all his other abilities too. Like he also is like a huge well of potential. But what they both have in common is that they're like going to be a great character representation of the summons of the series, and not just limited to stage in Smash.
Yeah, for sure. It's a pleasing choice either way. I mean, I used to kind of bag on the idea of Clive just for being a newer character. Like I'm old school Smash fan in that way. Like I love the idea of representing the Final Fantasies that were really prevalent on Nintendo during that era. Whether that's Cecil, whatever, or Terra, or the Warrior of Light, or Black Mage. The idea of a character from that era is very pleasant to me, and I think Terra, obviously she stands above most of those characters, is a very unique option. without retreading what you've already said that's thus far. I mean, I do like what Lister's done on Smashtopia. He made a Terra moveset, and you have your Fire Firaga as a standard special, but then you have Scatter Blizzard and Holy Flash and Flood. And then she uses her sword for Riot Blade and her Esper form for the final smash. Yeah, I mean, it would be a great character to play as. They're both sword users, but they use their summons and magic, I think, are more at the crux of both of the characters. Clive, I mean, he's a more modern character, so naturally that modern game design, he kind of has more to him if you use all the different icons. And that's interesting, having that like slide rotation into a stance change to use the abilities of Ifrit or Bahamut or Odin or whomstever, the Phoenix shifts or whatever, what have you. Yeah, Titan, what have you. So that's very interesting too, to cycle through the icons. I like that idea for a character. Funnily enough, summoners and stance change characters are kind of what we always harp back on as a new idea for Smash to envelop with a character inclusion.
Gosh, it's really hard to actually do, hey?
Yeah, but we're here, and they're both characters that kind of fulfill those desires in different ways. I have a lean, but it's not a hard one.
Something I want to add.
Yeah.
Something I want to add on Clive, because we were talking about the iconic feats, which of those there's only one per icon, but there's also abilities that you get through each one. Where there's like Clive has two just for himself that he has by default, being Precision Dodge and Magic Burst. But then Phoenix gives a few, like Rising Flames, summon a fiery weaving deals damage and can launch lighter enemies into the air. Heat Wave, projectile dispelling wall of liquid flame before launching several deadly shockwaves. Flames of Rebirth, massive pillar of fire that burns all enemies caught within it and partially restores Clive's health. Phoenix Shift, it's a short range dash teleport.
Yeah.
Scarlet Cyclone, you spin really fast and you cause fire to happen around you. Ifrit only gives 3. Will o' the Wicks, strange name. For me, I'm assuming Wicks is something in the game. You summon fireballs that circle around you, kind of in a Mega Man fashion. Limit Break is something you'll learn from Ifrit, apparently. And Ignition, which is a looks like a rushing attack with multiple hits.
I think they're also hiding some. I think there's more than 3. I think they're hiding some. This is like the wiki or what?
No, the wiki actually did not have good info. This is from another site. And then the other ones all have abilities as well. My feel with Clive is that they would just go all in on Ifrit and Phoenix. Focus it down, because sometimes with some things, like if you were to do like just one from each, now we're having to pick things, and sometimes that's really difficult to do. I think they just hone in.
Yeah, I mean, Ifrit is definitely the final smash.
Yeah, transforming into Ifrit and going into a cinematic beatdown is the final smash.
Yeah, for sure.
I will say, like, it could. I do agree with you in one sense too, but there is a world where, like, because like the way he uses like Rama or like Garuda and stuff, like the talons will come out, or like a staff will come out very quickly with a lightning bolt, right? So it's like a partial transformation, so it could make sense even in like basic attacks and stuff. But I do see them potentially keeping them like a fire theme without necessarily diving into all these other themes as well, themes and elements. But it would be really cool, and I think it's possible. But
do you engage with more than just like the fire-based attacks early on in the game?
No, like you don't know this is going to happen, and him having more than just him having an icon at all is like basically spoilers. Like, so Ifrit will be a spoiler, Phoenix will be a spoiler. Having these icons is like a spoiler, because it's not what you would have expected.
Here's an interesting pair of questions. What percent? I don't know how difficult this will be to answer. What percent of the way through the game? I'm trying to think of how to word this. How far into the game, percentage-wise, are you when you get your first icon? You can use his abilities as Clive.
I think that's just past the tutorial, I believe. I'm trying to remember, like, because like there's a bit of a time skip thing too.
Yeah.
So there's teenage Clive, young adult Clive, even like a post time skip Clive too. Like there's like some times going around. So you start off kind of like you're like enslaved a little bit. You're called a wyvern with like a sub name. So I think and like you're a dominant at that stage. So like you start the game knowing that Clive can use the Phoenix powers, but then you go back in time and he can't, and you find out why through those events.
Okay, so you know pretty much right away, like he has Phoenix.
Phoenix,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. You don't know
Then
about Ifrit until probably 15%.
okay, and then how far in till he gets another one past Phoenix and Ifrit?
I would maybe 25%.
Okay,
You get Garuda.
so you have to get to a quarter of the game before you get to Garuda, or and then whoever else comes in after that. I'm betting Odin is
Yeah,
last.
that's when you find out that's like when it's revealed. You could I can steal people's icons, which is like unheard of in that world.
He's a wild card.
Yeah, yeah.
I think knowing that, yeah, I think they would definitely go in all in on fire. It just makes the most sense to me. If they couldn't come up with an attack for one of his specials, maybe they'll pull a Garuda or an Odin or whoever. But just from like what I just looked through the abilities for just Ifrit and Phoenix,
Yeah, there's a lot.
I think you can make something pretty fucking easily. I don't think it'd be hard.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm. I will say, again, I'm not down on Clive anymore. If he were in Smash, I'd be like, okay, cool. Wouldn't I don't know the character personally yet, but I know that he has a lot he can do. So
yeah, we got a crossover event with him in Final Fantasy 14. We got to meet Clive, and we got to fight his Ifrit.
Nice.
Alongside him, which is weird, but
He's just like, hey, here he is. Let's play with Ifrit. Happens sometimes in an MMO.
I still definitely recommend checking out the game in its entirety too, because I've been trying to avoid some things. There are some details that are still worth uncovering for yourselves, for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
they did a good job.
Details. It's like I would have played it. I don't want to play an action Final Fantasy game, and I want a party of characters. I don't want to just control one dude.
I'm
fair.
Conversely, I'm on the other side of the equation. I'm fine with that style of gameplay. I like it in games like The Witcher, whatever, Ghost of Tsushima. So I would like to experience more of an RPG version of that. I just don't have the system yet. I just don't have a PS5, which is it's kind of an investment.
Is it not on PC yet? No, I'm pretty sure it's on PC.
I'm not.
But that's going to be a tough one to run, though.
Yeah, it's on sale right now on Steam.
Yeah.
My laptop wouldn't be able to handle it.
It's $37.
Right,
it's a 25% off right now. It's normally a $50 game.
Nice.
Oh,
I'm not going to do it on PC.
It's cheaper than Tears of the Kingdom. Wow. Oof.
That doesn't mean it's not a better game than Tears of the Kingdom. Although,
No, I'm knocking on Tears of the Kingdom when I say that. Why is it a $70 game?
That's just Nintendo pricing for you. They don't put anything on sale relevant. Yeah.
Well, right now it's $30 on sale, Tears of the Kingdom, for Black Friday. But $70. I think Nintendo got keyed and they're testing the waters to see if they can get away with it for Switch too. Would be my guess.
Listen,
and they probably will.
If these companies want to push for digital only releases, then we should get digital version prices that are cheaper than physical version. Hey, you don't have to produce a physical disc, a box, or any of that. So cut the price.
Yeah. Gamers are so indignant. Like, I get the idea for a digital only thing being whatever, more climate conscious or whatever, but I like my physical copies.
Yeah.
Especially like implications they could take it away from you at some point too, right? They don't actually.
That's happened on Sony. That's happened on PlayStation.
And that's BS.
Or Concord.
Yeah, BS. Oh yeah, right. Oh man, to think that we're getting a Concord episode of that new Amazon Prime show. I'm forgetting the name of, but I'm pretty hyped. Yeah, I'm pretty hyped for Secret Level, but to know that is a bit embarrassing.
I mean, I'm here for the Mega Man episode. I'll watch the God of War episode. I guess the Dungeons and Dragons episodes. Beyond that, I mean, I think maybe we'll see what the Pac-Man episode is. Beyond that, I don't care about the other ones.
Oh,
What
I
was
want
the
to
show again
see.
called?
Secret Level. It got revealed earlier this year. It's an animated show on Amazon, anthology show, which each episode focusing on a different video game, and Dungeons and Dragons for some reason has an episode. Don't quite understand that one.
Yeah,
That's
And then
cool.
part of the deal with them making the show, Sony, I'm guessing Sony might have helped with financing or something. They basically required a Concord episode. And then, because they thought
yeah.
Concord was going to be like this huge thing, we're going to promote it. And then well,
You can always tie it into
whoops.
Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Adult
Brotherships are better
animated
than
even.
Concord.
Concordia. Yep. I'm interested. I want to see I think Jinja Kai's in it as well, isn't he? That was I would like to see. I'm pretty sure.
There did seem to be. I didn't think he was in there. It's like there's like some kind of there's like a PlayStation episode. It's just called PlayStation. We don't know. It's not a specific game. I think it's a stealth PlayStation All Stars episode. That's what I think that one is,
Yeah.
and they're just calling it PlayStation for now.
Astrobot.
Yeah,
I want to play
Astrobot
it.
is
I want
good.
to play it.
You own it. Go do
I
it.
do. I will.
It's a great game. Best platformer since Odyssey.
I plan on streaming it eventually soonish.
Yeah.
It's just like a joy to play all the way through.
And
But
it's a
back to
joy to
Clive.
play all the way
Okay.
through with you guys on this episode. Yeah.
More of
I
a
was gonna
joy
say,
than
back to Clive and Terra.
this.
Oh god,
Yeah, he's doing it now. The listeners doing the
it's a great game.
Twitch. Yep.
Talked about that.
Twitch stream.
So let's get back to it. We are running out of time in this episode. We kind of meandered for a bit there. Terra and Clive. Is there anything else we want to discuss about with these characters? Both can be martial, both can be magic, both can turn into summons.
Right.
Unless there's anything more I want to say about Terra, I think I have my lean.
All right, go for it.
Go for it. I think I would go for Clive. Relevancy. Maybe even if it is like the all fire based attacks, I think he'd be very well received. He's very cool, popular, as you would expect, stoic, whatever main protagonist. But like, if they do give him a little bit more than just Phoenix and Ifrit, he could be like something truly special. But even if he does have the two, I think there's still he would just be like such a unique way of representing such an important part of Final Fantasy, which is the summons.
All right, Jonno, what do you think?
Yeah. Again, I definitely I'm more interested in Clive being a playable character by a large degree than I was before we recorded this episode. And it's hard to say. I think, when we were talking about the possibility of his different icons being accessible and having it be more of a smorgasbord moveset, I was more interested. Again, having that concentrated moveset on fire with Phoenix and Ifrit is totally doable and could make for a good moveset. But I'm also kind of burnt out on fire in Smash. Like Charizard, Roy, Incineroar,
Mario, Luigi,
it's rather Bowser. it is rather prevalent. Ike, it shows up quite a bit. It's not a knock. I mean, it's not something that people besides people like Zantok and I really keep track of or care about. But it's there. So I mean, Terra, she's an older character, and you don't have to step on spoiler territory as much. So you can say, oh, she can use fire, but she can also do ice and holy and water and lightning and yada yada. So you have these two characters that are summon based in some way with magic and a sword. They're very close in many regards as for what they can do. But I think what sets Terra over the edge for me, as well as being a great female protagonist, which Smash doesn't have a whole lot of, is one, giving Final Fantasy classic games a bone, and two, having that greater variety more likely to be associated with her than Clive. I'll vote for Terra.
All right.
Respectable.
1 vote Clive, 1 vote Terra. I vote Zidane.
Hey, it's on your shirt. Barney? Oh my god.
Team Black Mage. Let's go.
I would also go for that.
Yeah. So both of these are good picks. I would not be disappointed in either. I would be disappointed in Tifa Lockhart if she was the third Final Fantasy character at Smash. God fucking damn it. Um, uh, I don't know. I fuck. I put them. These are both probably. I don't know if they'd be top 5. These are both top 10. Which at a franchise of 16, a little bit of a plus with some spin-offs. It's not really saying much, but they're above Tidus, they're above Lightning, they're above Noctis, they're above Bart's, they're above Onion Knight, they're above Furion, they're above Vaughn. The avatars from 11 and 14. I'm talking main characters here, Jonno. I would put Cecil in the same branch as them. I put the Warrior of Light in the same branch. I think they're above Squall. Realistically, they're above Zidane, my boy.
It's tough when you can't escape the fire from Terra though too. It's tricky. Yeah.
I think. See, part of me, I have to admit, I have a lot of bias to the older games because that's when I was more into Final Fantasy. Granted, I didn't start until 7th, then I went back and played older games. And I like that era. I like the turn-based or in the ATB system, less so than when we got to 12 and we started having things be more run around in the field and controlling less party members. But I think Clive would be more spectacle, I think is a good way to put it. With his iconic abilities, whether you go all in on Ifrit and Phoenix or you vary it up and have some Odin, some Leviathan, some Ramu, Garuda, Shiva, Bahamut. He'd be more, I think, impactful than Terra. Not necessarily. I don't think like his inclusion necessarily would be impactful, but like seeing him fight would feel like more of an impact than Terra's fighting style likely would be. But I also I'm having a hard time just saying no to the old school cool character.
It's a really good matchup, no doubt.
Yeah. And I mean, they're both impactful games too. With what Yoshi P did for 16. I mean, despite Zantok's encroachment upon the new gameplay style, it has been a big success.
Oh, of course.
Story-wise too. Final Fantasy VI also at the time. I mean, with the way the game shifts and what happens with
6 is my top 3.
Yeah,
of the series.
And what happens with Kefka like midway through the game? You're like, oh.
It's funny. It's funny. 6 is in my top 5, but I do think Terra is one of the better protagonists to add Smash from Final Fantasy.
Interesting. On your top 5? 6 is in your top 5?
No.
That surprises me. Wow.
I mean, 7, 9, 10, 4, and 5.
7, 9, 10, 4, 5. Interesting.
Not necessarily in that order.
Interesting.
Really? You're surprised at 10? That's interesting to me.
Yeah, a little bit.
I thought it'd be 5. That would be the one that's like, really? 5?
Well, 5 has a cool job system.
Yeah, it does.
I can see it. Yeah.
It's also funny. 5 is funny. 6, Kefka is the only thing that's really funny, but he's funny.
Yeah. That's an interesting thought too. I mean, it's a total sidebar, so I'll think about it later. 9 and 4 are up there for me. That's all I know right now.
looking at these two characters, my eyes keep being drawn in one direction. And I think with the amount of time that there is left in this episode, I need to just make this decision quick. And since I keep looking one way, I'm just going to say Terra. I think Clive would be great.
There you go.
Either of these would be amazing choices. Sometimes we have matchups where it's like, yeah, I guess this character wins. Or it's like, oh god, why either of them? But this is a good both matches this episode were really good matchups.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're like on exactly level footing with each other, I feel.
Yeah. Next Smasher Dash though is gonna be what the fuck? Okay. We're doing this.
I think spell that for Flamezone soon.
No, a totally respectable pick. And Terra is awesome too.
Yeah. So with that, Terra and Mai, we'll be seeing them again in Tournament of Champions at the end of the season. Who they'll go up against, could either of them win the whole thing? It's possible. But we'll see. Otherwise, Eric, you're one of our most recurring guests and viewers. I don't know why you listen to 11-hour episodes from us. I don't know, then you just have nothing better to do, which mood.
You don't. When you're on a commute, you don't have anything better to do.
It's fair. Watch Critical Role. That'd be better use of your time. Or, my video game plays, whatever. Next time on Super Cast Brothers, though, it's time for another on-topic episode. And this one, I will only tell you the title, because if I tell you anything more, it will ruin it. Because Jonno doesn't know what this is. Only I know, and there's a reason for that. That next on topic is just being called the Ultimate Smasher Dash.
Oh.
But it's an on topic episode and not a Smasher Dash. How strange.
Funnily enough, our next Smasher Dash is called the Ultimate on Topic.
It's not. But that does give me a weird idea that unfortunately wouldn't work because of Tournament of Champions' existence. Would you rather have classic mode or adventure mode? Place your bets. Alright, with that, we'll end the episode here. See you all next time and go do something better.
Wamba lives.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, y'all. Take care.